Hi, I'm Carlton, and this is another episode of The Serving Effect, where we spotlight everyday heroes who are transforming lives and building a stronger, more connected community. We're going to bring you stories of individuals and organizations who are coming together, loving on people, lifting them up and encouraging, and showing the power of when we all come together to serve each other. So whether you're actively serving now, or you need some encouragement to serve, or maybe you just need one practical idea to get you started today, you're in the right place. Today we have Beth Faucette. Welcome, Beth. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Beth Faucette, and I am a lifelong resident of the Garner, Raleigh area, and I've grew up living my entire life on Rock Quarry Road.
Okay. All right. So what are some of your interests or things that have really something that you've gravitated for most of your life? Is there anything that has always been either a hobby or something about you that's that you would want people to know about?
Well, I think I've spent most of my life trying to serve others, and big part of my life is my family. My life is my family and my church. So I have grown up going to Ebenezer Methodist Church on Rock Quarry Road. I think if I think back to all of my life as serving at my church, spending time with my family, if I had to say a favorite hobby, it would be crocheting. And that kind of leads me to one of the areas that I was able to serve in my church. And we started a program years and years and years ago that met in a lady's house. And it's called the Outreach Club. And it gave me an opportunity to use my hobby, which was crocheting, to crochet for others in need. We grew so big that we now meet at our church, and we use that area of service to crochet, quilt, and knit for others in need.
Okay. Did I see that you started teaching in a Sunday school class at 12?
Oh, I did.
You started teaching at 12. Now, what led you to teach in a class? I mean, that seems like when I was 12, I don't remember doing anything other but wanting to have fun.
So my mother's sister, his name was Joe, and she had the Joe Branch class at church. And I started teaching Sunday school with her around the age of 12. That led to my desire to be a teacher. So I spent 32 years teaching in the Wake County Public School System. And that's kind of, that and leading our youth at Ebenezer.
Okay.
So,
Where was the foundation? Did it just start with you, or did you have influences that led you to have that kind of heart for service?
that would go back to my family. And I had parents that showed me what serving meant. My parents were our youth counselors for over 30 years at church, and I had the opportunity to see them serve others, and that made me want to do the same thing.
I think we've seen in each person that's come on The Serving Effect this idea that parents are one of the biggest influences of their children growing up and serving. And so it's two different things going on. We're encouraging everyone who's watching this podcast to get involved and to serve. And then we're showing that the modeling of parents to their children means that they become lifelong servants, which is what we want to. We want them to have the joy of serving, and it's not just about giving, but it's what you receive also. Was there anything in your life that really showed you not you're serving yourself with to other people, but other people serving to you?
So I did want to talk a little bit about my parents, and I said being serving others as our youth group leaders for years. But I had an opportunity way back when Hurricane Fran come through to my daddy was battling cancer really bad at that time in that September. And when that hurricane was over, he loaded up in a truck and went to Greenville, North Carolina, filled up as many coolers as he could with ice. We couldn't have any ice, around after the hurricane, and came back and distributed that ice to our entire community.
Wow.
around us, houses of people that did not have. And I had that's what I had growing up, seeing my parents serve and give to others.
Okay.
And that's what put that in my heart, that I wanted to be able to serve others like I saw my parents and my family, serving.
Yes. I think life is fuller when we're serving others, and sometimes in very small ways. I think everybody thinks about, helping or volunteering in large organizations or even internationally when there are people right in their neighborhood that really do need help. Is there any event in your life that really solidified the idea that there are people who are serving and now I'm receiving?
So I think probably one of the biggest events in our lives was in 2009 at the loss of my husband, Dale. And we had several individuals and, groups of people that gave and gave and gave to our family at that time. I think, just thinking back to a time that, the day after he passed, April Wood pulled up in our yard with 5 trash cans. Um, and just, that served our family. You wouldn't think, you're going to have a lot of trash during something like this, but just a simple trash can that somebody brought to us made such a difference, to our family. Our church gave us, and friends gave us a benefit. It was hard for me to be on the receiving end, of that, because I always want to be the giving and serving others. But it made a big impact in our life and my boy's life that we want to now in return, give back to others.
So I love the simplicity of bringing trash cans. We wouldn't think we all carry food, and inevitably the family will say, "Please eat. We just have so much food." So I'm not at all saying not encouraging them to bring food, but there's so many small things. I've heard examples of someone who would cut the grass because you're not thinking that you have family coming in. You'd like for your yard to be clean, but you're not going to go out there and do it. So things like that, or coming by and just saying, "What do I need to do? Do I need to run to the grocery store for you?" Things like that. So I think in a moment of crisis like that, thinking out those simple things
That's right.
really gives you an avenue to meet the family. And I love the idea that once we receive serving back, the joy, now we really understand what the impact is on the other side. It's not that we see something, we know something now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
So that's one event that is really good. So tell me more about what's now. Lead me up into now. That's in your serving.
So when I retired from Wake County Schools, I took a month off, and then I came to Able to Serve. One of the big projects that Joseph and I, and Will, did at Ebenezer was Backpack Buddies. And so now we are able to give back into the community by our service, and especially the service through Able to Serve and being able, to serve others.
I remember a conversation with Pastor Kevin when he was there, and Joe was doing Backpack Buddies in both places, and he called me, and we just had conversations. Sometimes we met for lunch, but he told me one day, he said, "I don't know what's going on, but Joseph let me know that he could do more than just moving the cans and things to a table, that he could actually pack and he could do other things with it." And so he was laughing. He said how much I love that I didn't think. It was just I kind of put him in this where he could move things around, but he had so much more potential. But he stood up for his potential. And I'll always remember that conversation on the phone with him, laughing, saying, "Wow, that really does mean Able to Serve. It's not about a building. It's about community, and it's about taking what you're learning in the community we have within Able to Serve out into the community for better good." And that pillar of, we say we want them to become independent, but God created them to serve others. So
That's right.
use your ability to serve others. But that's one of the greatest stories I always tell is that phone call from a pastor. And you also highlighted the importance of your church family.
Yes.
I think people who are not involved in a church now, if you do not have a church, I would encourage you to find a church, and not just in time of crisis, but in life itself, how difficult things can be, or celebrating joys with other people, like-minded people. So I'd like for that to be something that we highlight in this episode, is that finding a church family really does give you a fuller life, and it offers multiple opportunities for short-term serving, long-term serving, crisis serving. So it's all in there. And churches have mission projects. So that's just one area where if you're searching for ways to serve and really understand the joy of what serving means and God created us to serve, find a church family. Find a church family and get locked in to a family that can help you learn to serve and experience that joy.
Well, I had shared with some others that my middle name is Joe, so Bethany Joe, and my mom said I should be, and I just lost my mom in March, but my mom said my name should have been Bethany Go, because I don't stop. I don't stop, and they say I'm on the go, all the time. But she also left, a kind of a legacy with our family, and that is, she would always, tell us as I was going, remember who you are, and I would love for my family to be remembered, for our service to others, because that means a lot. So if you have, for anybody out there, if you have that opportunity, seek those service opportunities. Come volunteer at Able to Serve.
That would be a good thing. That would be a good thing.
But find something to be able to give back to others.
So you experienced full circle, because now that you're Able to Serve, your class is a diverse group who has different needs and abilities. And so you're getting to see this not from just a mother's perspective,
yes,
but from, I have a sister, and so having that perspective of others and the things that they are, just excitement of what they can accomplish, really does broaden your idea of what disabilities mean. You get to see that. But I love the idea that you're modeling now to your family, who's modeling to others, this idea of the joy of serving, and how many opportunities can we come up with. I think sometimes we're searching for something to do, and you've created, your life is serving as a lifestyle. It's really not about, can I choose this and I'll just do that. Everybody's life is busy, and there'll be periods of time where you can't serve. Your family really does need you, but there'll be times where you can. So understanding that they're in your journey, there's going to be these periods that you don't have to feel guilty that you're not helping others because you're helping your family. And then there are periods where you really can be someone who's an encourager to others in their families and what they need, and individuals that are there. So I love this modeling, and I love the idea of how many times we have someone who comes on who refers back to their family, which created in them a heart and a desire to serve. Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to share in your experiences? You serve in so many ways, and I think probably the most with your family. There's so much that you do with your family and the things that are needs there. When you started off with, my family and my church and things, you really are involved with a lot of caregiving with your family, and yet you still have time. You've made it a lifestyle that you can build that in, that you're also serving others.
Well, I would just say, get out there and serve, and find opportunities. There are lots, and it just doesn't have to be, with your family, in your community, and just, seek opportunities to be able to help others.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
This has been a great experience, and I think bringing this back to some simple act as trash cans meant so much, or there's things that we can do other than we bring more food. Asking the family what they need or looking for a simple need is probably one of the things today that came out the most to me. If you're watching and this has inspired you, let me encourage you to share this with someone else. It may give them something to think about and give them an act that they can identify with, so that they can begin serving their community. Again, thank you, Beth, for coming on today.
Thank you for having me here this morning.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Smith Addressing and Machine Service for hosting the location where we do our podcast, The Serving Effect, and to our sponsors, the Morning and the Midday Rotary Clubs of Garner. We want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to share in this podcast of how people can get involved in their community and make a difference in the lives of others.